Assalamu alaikum and greetings, peace be upon you. Today, this bank holiday Monday, my heart was particularly weighed down by an unbearable truth. The atrocities that are not just unfolding today, but have been ongoing for over 75 years and especially since October the 7th. They now talk about Gaza. They don't talk about Palestine anymore. They show Gaza on the screens, the map of Gaza, as though Palestine has been deleted from history or has become a distant memory. But we will not forget. Right now, there is a man-made famine. Food, water and medicine is at the doorstep, but not being allowed in. We are watching in real time the systematic genociding of a whole nation of people to try to satisfy the thirst for blood and the desperate need for another group of people to secure a land of milk and honey they were promised they would never have. Palestinians are not just starving for food, but for hope, for safety, for a future. And yet we sit here and we know that there are innocent children, little ones, being bombed, torn to shreds, their cries lost in this genocide. Parents carrying their body parts of the children away from rubble in carrier bags so that they can bury them. In recent news, a pediatrician, a mother, a woman of medicine dedicated her life to saving children who has lost 7 of her 8 children in an attack. Just let that sink in. A woman who's dedicated to protecting and nurturing and healing children has lost 7 of her 8 children. The very people who should be healing are being destroyed. Hospitals, bakeries, schools, nowhere is safe. That is the reality of Gaza today. And propaganda is changing. It's not so much what they're showing on the news, but what they're not showing. What they're not showing is even more of a crime and even more of a bias and even more of an injustice. Some 50 people were killed today when a school was bombed, where men, women and children were seeking shelter, a place where children should be learning, dreaming of their futures. Instead, like so many other places, turned to rubble. All of Gaza is rubble. There's nowhere to seek shelter. There are no homes. It is just a wasteland. And the few buildings that remain and people seek shelter are now being targeted. And what does the world do? What do the so-called leaders of the world do? They talk of action, but do nothing. It's already too late. They can't not afford to procrastinate any more than they have done already. The world is failing, but none should be ashamed more than the Arab world. They claim to be the Muslim leaders, the custodians of the 2 holy mosques, yet they are too busy holding concerts, losing themselves in music and dance. They have just succumbed to Donald Trump's bullying and pressure. They have in effect paid jizya, protection money, trillions of dollars to Trump to appease him. The Arab world remains silent, and by that they are complicit in this genocide. And let's not ignore the painful truth. Aid is being blocked. The basic humanity of offering help to those suffering is denied. Why? Because the powers that be choose to turn a blind eye, to ignore the suffering, to sit idly by as Gaza bleeds. And where is the outrage and action from the world leaders? Donald Trump, a man who has time and time again shown that he has the moral compass of a fox in a henhouse, continues to support a system that crushes the Palestinian people. He, like his hair, is a phony and comes from the tail of a pony. He represents nothing but the vanity of a man who believes he can turn this crisis into his own game of a political and economic advantage. And don't get me started on Kier Starmer. I would trust him less than a German Shawarma. This isn't the leadership we need. This is the political game that has forgotten about the lives that matter the most, those of children, the families, the innocents who are suffering. And our foreign secretary, a jackal dressed as lamb. Behind the suits, behind the soft-spoken words lies a cold indifference indifference to the cries of the oppressed. They wear the cloak of diplomacy, but underneath it, it's only deceit. We cannot just sit and let this pass us by. We cannot just shake our heads, feel sad for a moment, and then move on with our lives as if nothing is happening. We must do more. We must speak up. We must raise our voices. We must demand that the world hears us. We must boycott the companies, the leaders, the powers that fund and support this slaughter. We must fundraise. We must amplify the voices of those who are suffering, those who are voiceless, and show that the people of the world, we are not going to stand idly by. But I also know that in times like this, it's easy to feel lost, to turn away from the pain, to get distracted, to distract ourselves, to tune out to the reality of this world. I'll admit it, I've done it. I've used music as a way to escape, to focus on training, to numb myself to the reality of this world. But that ends today. I am choosing to give up music completely because we cannot afford to escape this reality, to ignore this reality, the screams, the cries, the blood that is being spilt, not while Gaza burns, not while Palestine burns, not while children die. Music will not be a distraction for me until Palestine is free. I ask you to join me in this sacrifice. Let us all turn our focus to the reality we cannot afford to forget. Let us make sure that the music of the world fades out until the cries for justice are heard loud and clear, until Palestine is free, until Gaza is safe, until no more children are torn apart by bombs. We must do more. We must stand up. We must act. Thank you for listening. Assalamu alaikum. Peace be upon you.